Hello everyone, it's Colby. I am an indie game developer and owner of Excited Cave. This is my buddy Philip, long-term DM and D&D player.
Hello.
Is that your new voice for this episode?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, welcome to Minus One Charisma. An hour or so of us just talking to all things D&D. Also, all that YouTube stuff, 17% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribed, or I don't know, there's probably a number out there. So click that button and the bell. And we're going to talk about barbarians today. I'm going to go over, yeah. I like
So
the,
fun.
I like them now. We'll be getting into our personal experiences later.
Yeah. They're a fun class.
Yeah,
It's just a simple class.
yeah. So we're going to go over all the class features first, and then we're going to talk about our own personal experiences with barbarians, some of our favorite subclasses, and then finish it off with some multi-classing with the barbarian. So the probably the most defining class feature, and I'd say the best feature about the barbarian, is its rage. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today of just how good rage is of an
Yeah, it's
ability.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And it pairs well with all of the other abilities.
Yeah, it's like so thematic too. It's like you want to be a raging barbarian, like everything about it, It's nice that it's a bonus action because, barbarians don't even really have bonus actions often unless you're using an offhand. Um, Advantage on strength checks and saving throws makes sense. You're angry, you're stronger. You get like a +2 to damage, or is it your proficiency modifier?
I think so. I can double check it.
Oh, either way, it's an increase to damage. And then resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, which I think is one of the best defining features of it. Just makes you that much stronger and fits well with any tank.
Yes. The bonus damage is your proficiency.
Okay. Yeah, so it does scale nicely as well.
Yeah, good enough.
Unarmored defense, being a barbarian, you want to be
Naked.
yeah, that's the way to put it.
Or
Um,
just underwear. Just tidy whities. Run into battle. No
yeah,
weapons. You start punching people.
I mean, we know the classic Conan the Barbarian look that a lot of people think of when they
Yeah.
think of the barbarian. And it's
Or
nice.
Rollo from Vikings. He goes shirtless into battle a lot with a big axe.
Seems impractical.
It's an intimidation tactic.
Yeah, I'm sure that's intimidating.
Yeah. This giant burly man with a big beard, giant axe comes shirtless because he's not afraid of you. That's kind of scary.
Yeah. And you got unarmored, so you got unarmored defense, give you a nice boost to your AC with 10 plus your dexterity plus your constitution. It also saves a lot of money. All of those like paladins that are looking for plate armor that cost 1,500 gold.
Yeah, I don't need any of that. I just need a big hitty stick.
In your voices.
Oh, you missed one.
Did I miss one? It must have been
Yeah.
subtle.
At second level, you get reckless attack.
Oh, that's one of the optional features I have later.
Oh.
Well, we'll
Oh,
get
why
it.
did you not have it?
Yeah, we'll get into the optional features after. Danger
I didn't even know
sense.
it was an optional feature, if I'm honest.
Hmm, I do have it, right? Nope. You're right. I don't have it. Okay,
All right. Well, I
you
have it in front of me.
this is your time. Yeah, explain it.
At second level, you can throw aside all concern for defense and just attack. On your first attack on your turn, you can attack recklessly, so you get advantage on your melee attack weapon rolls using strength during that turn. So you get advantage. But
Mhm.
because you're being reckless with it, you're not defending yourself, so anyone attacking you until your next turn has advantage against you.
Mhm.
So it is very useful. But if you're being a tank against a bunch of enemies, it's not. But if you're like fighting one-on-one, it's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if like you're getting close to killing someone
Hmm.
and you want to just make sure you do.
Yeah. Also, at
Just
second level, you get Danger Sense, advantage on
mm,
dexterity saving throws, which helps a lot with any spells that are being shot at you. You know, barbarians are relatively weak to saving throws usually from spells, but at least dexterities, it's not that much of a problem.
mhm.
Mhm. Third level,
And
you get your subclass.
you also get 3 rages at third level.
Right.
Goes up from 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I was incorrect about the rage damage. It is a linear scale. It's part of the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
the class feature was unclear, but I just hadn't side scrolled enough on the table.
okay. Level 4, ability score or feat. And I mean, obviously, for ability score, you got your dexterity, strength, or constitution you want to bring up. But what kind of feats would you take as a barbarian?
What kind of feats?
Yeah.
Great Weapon Master is my favorite for Barbarian.
What does that do?
That one, you can take a -5 to your 2 hit, so your d20. In exchange, you get a +10 to the damage.
Right. Yeah, that one's just very
So
satisfying.
that combined with reckless attack, so you have advantage, you're probably going to hit anyway.
Yeah.
Because a -5 sounds like a lot, but at this point, you're probably at 18 or 20 strength. So you'd be getting, +8, +7. So you'd still be in the positive to hit.
Yeah.
So, it's not the end of the world.
And I mean, consider who you're hitting as well. Like, if you're gonna hit the tank with it, there'd be less of a chance. But if you get one-on-one with a sorcerer or something, you might as well lay into them.
Yeah. Or any kind of beast, because beasts are just natural armor. And it's usually like 10 to 14,
Yeah, exactly.
depending on what it is, obviously.
Yeah,
Another good feat would be like tough.
yeah,
Just bump up your hit points. Any of the like slasher, piercer, bludgeoner, all those that just make your weapon stronger, depending on what kind of weapon you use. Because why not?
mhm. There's honestly a lot of good feats for barbarian to
Oh yeah,
take, and
there's,
like
there's tons.
it really allows you to kind of like define the type of barbarian you're being. Like tavern brawler is fun for roleplay. I know it doesn't do like an insane amount of damage, but it's
Grappler too.
just fun. Yeah, grappler, fighting initiate if you want some more choices in battle. Take some fighting, not styles, but I can't remember what they're called. You get some superiority dice with it.
Oh yeah, the battle master.
Yeah, you get some of the battle master
Yeah. So
techniques with that.
well, and with fighting initiate, another benefit of that is with fighting style, you could take unarmed fighting style.
Yeah,
So you don't even need a weapon anymore. You could just go punch people.
yeah,
And if you were to take that and grappler, like take grappler later, or if you're a human and you start with a feat and you have grappler or one or the other,
yeah.
then you can just start punching people, grabbing them, and holding them down while the paladin smites them.
Mm-hmm. And
There's
fifth,
a lot of good feats for martial classes.
yes, absolutely. For fifth level, you get always helpful extra attack and fast movement, which can help you get to those ranged people a little bit more. You get an extra 10 feet when not wearing heavy armor, but
Yeah.
why would you be wearing heavy armor?
Both, why would you be wearing armor? And on top of that, why are you wearing heavy armor?
Yeah, it
Unless,
does.
unless you're multi-classing.
That's
That's the
true.
only reason I could see. But, I mean, if you have Barbarian, you get the unarmored defense, so I wouldn't waste my character's money on armor once I
Yeah,
get that.
absolutely. So definitely a helpful boost of speed. Um, at 7th
At
level, oh, sorry, go
at
ahead.
6th level, you get a feature of your subclass,
Right.
and your rages go up to 4.
Nice. I don't know if I've ever ran out of rages. Depends if it's like a really long day, I guess.
I've never run out.
Yeah, it's never really been a problem.
Nope.
Feral Instinct at 7th level allows you advantage on initiative rolls, which is extremely helpful as a barbarian. You don't want the sorcerer or wizard to get a spell off that like restricts your movement or have people run away from you. You want to be the first one to move because if you're a tank, you want to be in the way
Hmm.
of anyone and your allies. And if you just want
Well,
to go deal some damage, just gotta run.
and you want to rage.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the biggest thing to me is I want to rage before I start getting hit.
Yeah. And you can't be surprised if you enrage immediately in a surprise round, which is just awesome. Like you get ambushed and the barbarian just immediately enrages and somehow doesn't lose a round.
He's just fast.
Hmm.
It's that adrenaline, man.
Yeah. What am I missing at 8th level?
Ability score improvement.
How did I miss that one? I suck at these notes.
I don't know. This is one of the only classes that gets something at every level.
Fair enough. Yeah, we talked a decent amount of that already.
Yeah. Oh, ability. We already talked about all the good stuff. Ability score improvement. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
At 9th level, something you don't have is your proficiency goes up. It'll be at +4, and your rage damage goes up from 2 to 3.
Okay, that's helpful. Seems a little bit late at ninth
Yeah. Well, it
level.
doesn't go up again until 16.
Oh wow. Yeah, that seems a little bit
It's
slow.
just extra damage though, and at this
Yeah,
point you're attacking twice.
yeah, it adds
So,
up.
and it is just bonus damage.
Hmm.
So like it has nothing to do with your dice. So at this point, with it being +3, you have to think that your strength, if you've upped your strength both times, you're gonna be at 20 strength. So your weapon is actually doing like +8
Yeah, that's true. Plus, ninth level, you might have a +1 weapon. On top of that, maybe it has another
or a
dice.
+2 weapon
Yeah, exactly.
or a +4 if
Yeah,
your DM is crazy.
I remember when I was like watching videos on how to DM, and one of the advice was be careful with giving +1 stuff. Like it might seem small, but it actually does add up quite a bit for the player's combat
I
proficiency.
love giving out magic items.
Hmm. Especially ones that give players like new ways to do things. Like a +1 is nice, but it doesn't change anything what they're gonna
Yeah.
do.
I like the thought of if your character goes to a blacksmith, they can turn your weapon into a +1.
Yes, for a price.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Just makes
you
the
know,
weapon better.
they sharpen it, hone it, oil it, take care of it, make it, you know, maintain it. Then eventually you can have it wear off and it goes back.
Yeah, but we're getting a little sidetracked.
Yeah.
Brutal critical is at ninth level, which you roll an additional damage die for critical hit with a melee attack. Just makes that nat 20 even better.
Especially if you have a great sword.
Why is that? Is that like
Because instead of 2d6, it's 4d6. So instead of that, it's actually 6d6.
I thought it was just an additional
Oh,
die.
wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of something else. No, it's yeah,
But
it is. It's still 5d6 though.
yeah, that's still quite a bit.
Yeah, 5d6. Uh,
I don't know what you're thinking of, to be honest.
I don't know what I'm thinking of either. I remember a way that I got extra. It might have just been that the weapon had extra dice
Maybe.
for critical. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
It's still good though.
What's that
Like
10th?
a great axe having
Yeah.
3d12 is pretty sweet. 10th level is a path feature.
Right. Relentless Rage is 11th level. If you drop to 0 hit points while raging, you do a DC 10 con save. If you succeed, you'd only drop to 1 hit points instead. And the DC increases by 5 every time you use it. Resets after a short or long rest. I didn't know Barbarians got this, and that it's actually, it sounds amazing.
Because you've never played one that's that high.
That's true.
This ability, when you're the Path of the Zealot, makes you invincible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not one subclass we're gonna go over later. So what about that subclass quickly adds to it?
Well, if you fail a saving throw while you're raging, you can re-roll it.
Oh really?
And yeah.
Okay.
Also, Rage Beyond Death. If you're raging, have 0 hit points. You don't go unconscious. You still make death saves, but you're not unconscious, so you still attack people. So even if you do this and you fail, you're still running around.
That's funny.
It's terrifying.
I don't know how I haven't heard of that subclass. That sounds awesome.
Because nobody ever plays it. It's level 14 that you get that ability.
Yeah, that's fair.
People don't play that high level of D&D.
Yeah. So I love that this is like based or it kind of has like a unique way of how it makes it more difficult for the person to like repeatedly do it. Like it'd be really boring if it was just like, yeah, you can do this once for short rest, as so many other abilities are. I like how it gives the player a chance to
Yeah, it's
keep.
just increasingly harder to succeed, which is way better.
Yeah, it's
Because after 2 times, you need over a 20. After 3, it's pretty much impossible.
yeah. And the nice thing is, barbarians are going to be proficient in Constitution, and their Constitution is going to be pretty high. So you're probably going to make this the first try. Maybe
Without rolling.
this, yeah, without rolling. Probably the second. Third is a little bit iffy, but you could even go fourth, and then even with a nat 20, like as long as your DM's fine with it. Do nat 20s naturally just pass? Is that in the
No.
rules? No, that's a
No, in the
DM thing.
rules, nat 20 only affects attacks.
Okay, as a DM, I would allow it, but
Yeah, in the rules, a natural 20 is only a modifier for attack rolls. Nothing else.
yeah,
Like skill checks, that's not a thing. DMs just kind of do it because why not?
yeah. That's just one of those like things probably people do so much. It seems like a rule.
Well, and as a DM, you can just not tell people a nat 20 is an automatic success. And then when they get excited for a nat 20, it probably succeeded anyway because it's a high roll,
Yeah,
but it won't always succeed. And I think that's a that's a better way of doing it because some things it's supposed to be a hard check and it's supposed to be like, a dumb barbarian trying to figure out a puzzle rolling intelligence with a -3 intelligence just because he got a nat 20 doesn't mean he can figure it out.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've made that mistake when I was a younger DM or less experienced DM. I was like, yeah, sure, you can try to get an nat 20. You want to try to use your flute to bring her back to life? Sure. That's one of the best examples I allowed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, now I
Wasn't even a
look,
bard.
I know. When I look back at that, I was like, why? That's not possible. But what's that 12th level?
Ability score improvement.
That's
Also, your rage goes up to 5.
okay. That's a lot of rage. 13th level, you get an increase to your brutal critical. Just another extra die.
That's what I was thinking. It was just the higher brutal critical.
Oh, okay. There's an additional
Yeah.
feature to this one. So what is that?
Your proficiency goes up to +5. No, like when I was thinking the earlier one of having 66 for a greatsword. I was
Oh,
thinking
okay.
the brutal critical at 13th level. That's all it was. I was just remembering wrong.
Okay. 14th level, do they get anything?
14th?
Yeah,
Yep, path feature.
right. Persistent rage at 15th level. Rage only ends if you choose to end it or you fall unconscious. Just a nice quality of life thing. Unfortunately, you have so many enrages already, but
Yes, but
still
if you're a
nice.
Path of the Zealot, then you never lose your rage
Yeah, that's true.
because you don't fall unconscious.
Yeah. 16th level.
Ability score improvement, and your rage damage goes up to +4.
Nice. Another brutal critical. Another extra die. It,
Also, proficiency goes up to +6, and your rages goes up to 6.
nice. Indomitable Might at 18th level, which if your total for a strength check is less than your strength score, you can use that score instead. I don't like that this is at 18th level.
That should be at 2nd level.
Second level? That's a little
Okay,
far.
okay, not 2nd level, but it shouldn't be at 18th because who the hell plays D&D at 18th level and is needing to make strength checks other
Yeah.
than maybe to grapple someone?
Yeah, this is a pretty disappointing 18th level feature.
Yeah, the 20th level feature is really good.
Yeah, before that, is there
It's
anything at 19th?
ability score improvement.
Okay, not exciting.
This class gets a lot of those.
Yeah, Primal Champion. I like it. I still think it should be lower though.
Primal Champion?
Yeah, I think it should be.
Well, you also get unlimited rages. And as far
Yeah,
as level 20 abilities go, this is one of the best ones.
really.
Yes. Which is really sad, but it is. It's not the best. Druid is the best, but it
That's
is
true.
one of. Because having your strength and con increased by 4 to a max of 24, throughout the life of the barbarian, you will have had 5 ability score improvements before this. So that's enough to get the feats you want and get your strength and con up to 20 each. So you can very easily have both of those at 24, which right away bumps up your hit points by 40,
Yeah.
which isn't insignificant, especially when you take half damage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like 80.
Yeah.
Like this is a much better ability than most level 20 abilities. Like, most level 20 abilities are pretty bad if I'm honest. Like
Yeah.
just as a quick example, the level 20 ability for sorcerer is that you regain 2 sorcery points at a short rest.
Yes.
That's it.
That
That's all you
one's
get.
that one sucks.
Yeah, that's it. So this is much better.
Yeah, it's definitely better. Honestly, I still think a barbarian at level 20 is, as a lot of the other martial classes are like, is going to be a lot weaker than some of the other classes. So that's why I just, if this was like by 6, I think I'd be happy with it. Maybe that's a little selfish, but
I think that at 18th level, instead of Indomitable Might, you should get a third attack.
yes, barbarians should get a third attack. How many attacks do fighters get?
4
Yeah. And like,
and action surge.
yeah, and like 3 is not unreasonable. Barbarians,
Yeah, the okay, fighters get 4, but only at 20th level. The 20th level ability is the 4th attack.
okay. That's a
But
little,
at by 11th level, they're at 3.
I see.
Plus action surge just doubles that. Only once, but
Yeah.
still, you
Th-
can kill pretty much anyone on the battlefield if you can hit them with 6 attacks in a turn.
yeah, absolutely. So I love barbarians.
I do too.
They're so much fun to play as. Actually, I'll go into our, actually, let's just transition. Let's talk about our personal experience with barbarians. My first barbarian I played. I got so bored playing him.
Yeah. You
And
did.
that's the thing with barbarians is that they are very simple. A lot of these class features you see with barbarians are not going to add like complexity. You know, some of the subclasses will add complexity, but barbarians are just very simple. So as people are trying to look through like just huge lists of spells, you're just going to be attacking and with really no flair to it. So if that's your thing, that's great.
Well,
But
and something to work on with your DM with any martial class, not just barbarian, because they can be quite stale, is a lot of the time the DM will describe what happens when you do an attack. Ask your DM if whenever you do an attack as barbarian, you can describe it in more detail, just to make it more fun for you, because then you can think of different ways to attack people. So you're like thinking of ways to suplex your enemy and then hop on top of him and start beating him up instead of just, hey, I grapple him and throw him to the ground.
yeah,
Like just thinking up ways to describe your attacks and not just I hit him.
that's
Because
true.
that could be a way to add some fun for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like a personal preference though, because I remember
Oh, 100%.
when I was playing the Blood Hunter, and I was actually trying to find some like ways to like describe how I was swinging my sword, but I ran out of ways very quickly. Maybe I'm just not as creative, or and again, it's probably just a personal preference.
Yeah,
Some
I mean,
people love like
everything anyone does in this game is personal preference.
yeah. So for me, I don't really enjoy like describing how I'm hitting in melee. I like
Yeah,
a
but
little bit more complexity.
if you don't like that, though, you don't have to. That's why I'm saying, like, work with your DM to find ways to make it more interesting for yourself.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, you are just sitting there. I also like playing barbarian, either barbarian or a spellcaster if I'm playing with new people. Spellcaster because then I can kind of support the whole group, and barbarian because then I can literally help people with their character sheets
Yeah.
because I don't have to think about mine.
Yes. Absolutely. This is a very good class also just for beginners to do because it's not very complex and
Yeah,
you learn the basics.
it's very good for a beginner to do that you know will be into the game. It's not good for a beginner to do that you're unsure if they'll be into the game because it can be boring, and you don't
Hmm.
want someone to be boring if they're just getting into it.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want to like as a DM make sure you don't like force them to keep playing a barbarian because in long campaigns barbarians can get especially boring because
Oh yeah,
they just don't
I
change
I would
much.
never force a player to be a character that they've gotten bored of or tired of because then they'll get bored and tired of playing,
Yeah.
and nobody likes
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and then that just brings down the whole group, of course. Um, that's really only the only time I really played a barbarian was not Bucket. You remember the name of that guy?
Bore.
Boar, yes. Boar the Totem Warrior with a drunk bear totem friend
Yeah,
that kept trying to get Boar drunk. And
I
it,
played I played an Ancestral Guardian for a one shot or a two shot,
hmm.
and he was ridiculous
Yeah.
because I made him well, and between the brutal critical rage, the way Ancestral Guardian works, and I gave him great weapon master, he was doing 30-35 damage every time he hit. It
Yeah.
was
That was the Warforged, right?
yeah, that was a big robot.
Yeah, I think you were very hard to kill as well. Tons of health.
Yeah, I was like the only one that didn't go down in the fight with Strahd. Well,
Yeah.
then there's that time that we decided to try and make a level 20 party to see what it would take to take down Tiamat. So I made I made a barbarian that I just throw my eggs in that basket, had someone cast haste on him and throw a potion of like gargantuanism on him so that he'd just turn into King Kong fighting Godzilla.
Yeah,
And he had like 600 hit points because of it.
he got scared of Tiamat, right? Is that what the issue was?
No, I don't think so. I think it just um the rest of the party wasn't doing anything. Like my other character gave him haste and then hid so that he wouldn't ever lose concentration.
Right.
But the other two didn't have magic weapons and spells don't work on Tiamat.
Yeah, that's true.
So could do literally nothing except sit there.
Yeah,
So it went from like making a party of 4 to fight Tiamat to making a party of 1 with someone giving him haste to fight Tiamat. And
that's
he
true.
did very well considering that handicap.
Oh yeah, he he was like a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and he had winged boots, so even if she flew, he could follow.
yeah, makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
I made him specifically to fight Tiamat, but I mean, realistically, if you make something that can fight Tiamat, it can fight anything.
Yeah. And you're about to play Barbarian, right? In the next campaign I'm DMing.
Oh, am I ever?
Let's
I made
talk about
I
that
made a
one.
I he's a goblin. So he's small, size small.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone size larger than him, if he wants, once per I think short rest, might be long rest, he can use strength to the small and do extra damage on top of his rage damage. And he's Path of the Beast. So when you rage, you choose a path for him. So I'm going to use Bite. So I'm just going to be a goblin that runs around and bites people.
Nice.
I'll find a party member in our party that has high strength, and then I'll just hide in his backpack, and then he'll just throw me at people.
Yes. That's
It'll
gonna
be fun.
be more of a silly
Goblins
character,
only weigh
right?
like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, it's a silly character, but it's a really strong character, even though it's silly.
Yeah.
Because it's a barbarian. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's strong.
Every,
It's just a feral goblin.
every group needs a silly character.
Yeah, I'm
Lighten.
good at being silly, stupid characters. One of my first characters was a fighter, but you'd think he was barbarian the way I played him.
Yeah.
Not
So
that he had intelligence.
so actually we didn't talk about the optional features, so that's gonna be a little bit editing I'll have to do to put the optional features after the class features and then the personal experience after the optional features. So we're just gonna go through the optional features quickly. At third level,
I've never looked at optional features, if I'm honest.
really? You don't add optional features?
Never.
That seems crazy to me. It's like, especially like when you play a ranger, you should absolutely take optional features.
I don't.
That's completely sidetracked, but
I don't.
anyways,
But I
primal
do, but I
primal knowledge, third level, you gain proficiency in a list of barbarian skills. We'll save talking about that until the next one. Instinctive pounce, 7th level as part of enraging as a bonus action. You can move half your speed, which is just great for closing the gap. Not, it's not like an insane change, but it's a nice extra little bit of speed.
Mm-hmm.
And then another primal knowledge at 10th level, you gain another barbarian proficiency. And I think there should be more things like this that give you more proficiencies as part of your class. Do you agree?
I don't know. Barbarians don't seem like characters that should be proficient in very many things.
That's true. And it is barbarian proficiencies. I don't know what's in that list, but it's all obviously based around being a barbarian. But yeah, I feel like I know players always have the opportunity to learn new proficiencies as they go along, but you know, if there was something in the rules there that just added a proficiency based off their class in other classes, because I don't think there's many other classes that have like that gain other proficiencies higher level, right?
Bards do. Rogues do.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, both of them. And you get half proficiency in everything you're not proficient in.
Yeah. No.
And you get double proficiency in things that you want.
Bards are crazy.
Rogues are like that too.
Mm-hmm. I'd
Did
love
you
to.
multiclass the both of them? Ugh, gross. The Barbarian Proficiencies skills are Animal Handling, Athletics, Intimidation, Nature, Perception, and Survival.
Okay.
I think Acrobatics should be in there.
Yeah, I do. You're a barbarian. Like, yeah, you're supposed to be big strength based, but you also probably have a high dexterity
Yeah,
because you
I,
need to.
I just I think it should be because like you're physically fit. Why wouldn't you be good at climbing? You know, like
Yeah,
and like you know, why wouldn't you have good balance? What
that sounds
I
like
just
something they were like, okay, we're gonna give every class, we're gonna define like these 6 skills or 7 skills. We're gonna keep a number, and they just didn't put acrobatics in there because had to
yeah,
cut
I
one
don't know.
out.
Personally, I would trade animal handling for acrobatics.
Yeah, not all.
I don't mind having animal handling in there. I just like, barbarian archetype doesn't need to be with an animal, and very rarely do I use animal handling. That's just me personally, because like mechanics wise in D&D, pets don't come up.
Yeah, they definitely went with the type of barbarian that's like been in the wild and is associated with some sort of animal, and you see a lot of that in the subclasses as well. But
Well, I mean, back in the day when 5e first came out, it was like just Totem Warrior and I think Battle Rager, but Battle Rager is specifically for dwarves.
oh right, jeez,
Yeah, like
yeah.
actually I could check.
Well, we know Battle Ragers specifically for dwarves. Or are you gonna check
No,
to
I
see?
meant check which two were in the first book because I know Totem Warrior was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, Berserker.
Hmm.
It was Berserker and Totem Warrior.
Okay.
Berserker's garbage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be if it wasn't an action, but it's an action.
Yeah. I don't know
If
too
it,
much about Berserker, but
you use an action and then uh, until your rage ends, you get an additional action, additional weapon attack as a bonus action. But the turn you use it, you can't use it
oh my
really.
god.
And when it ends, you suffer a level of exhaustion.
That sounds like that. Okay. That why the exhaustion? First, it was bad before you said that. Because it sounds like that spell that you use to give like someone else advantage or you use to like get your true strike. Is it true strike? That useless
Yeah.
cantrip?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one where you use your action to give advantage to yourself on your next attack. And
Yeah.
it's like, or I could just attack twice and possibly do twice the amount of damage, because 2 attacks is the same as one with advantage, except that you could potentially do twice the damage.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to use advantage when it's an action? That doesn't make sense.
You sound
It's
heated.
pointless. Yeah, like Berserker is it's a cool thought.
Yes, there should be a subclass based around berserking. That makes sense. But
Yeah,
not
but it
designed
needs to
well.
be a bonus action.
Yeah. Well,
Or just happen when you go into rage.
yeah. Well, speaking of subclasses, let's talk about good subclasses.
I like good subclasses.
Yeah, Totem Warrior. So this is, as you know, this is the subclass I played as from the beginning, or as that one of my first characters bore. And of course, I went with the bear. For people that don't know the Totem Warrior, at 3rd level, you get to pick between all of these. Actually, at 3rd, 6th, and 10th level, you get to choose between each uh, between 5 different animals that give different features. But I think everyone knows that the bear at 3rd level is the best one, objectively speaking.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on what you're going for, but it's just hard to not beat resistance to all damage except psychic.
Yeah. That is hard to beat. I'm pretty sure that's what Tiamat has.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how strong it is. Tiamat also might be immune to psychic damage, but I'm not quite sure.
I mean, Tiamat's immune to some things, not everything.
Yeah. So, you know, when I read through these though, some of them do sound great. It's just unfortunate they're like so overshadowed by the bear totem.
Oh,
Like,
bear is just better.
yeah. Like
It just
eagle,
is.
while you're raging, other creatures have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you, and you can use a dash action as a bonus action. Like that sounds awesome. Like it makes you a very mobile barbarian. But again, it's just overshadowed by the resistance to all damage because you could just have resistance and just run around regardless.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just
then even when you upgrade it at 6th level and you get to pick another one, the bear is the best one again.
yeah. Let's
Like,
let's
there's a
quickly
couple others okay ones, but
yeah.
it,
Let's quickly go over the other ones in 3rd level, and then I got a lot to say about the 6th level ones for sure.
I do like wolf.
Yeah, while you're raging, your friends have advantage on melee attacks against any creature within 5 feet of you. That's just a great themed one around like pack, being part of a pack.
Yeah. Well, and it's just good because as a barbarian, you're usually next to people, and then if you have like a ranger on your team,
Yeah.
great.
Tiger, what are you even doing here with that one? You can add 10 feet to your long
Yeah.
jump distance and
Why would
3
you ever?
feet.
Why would you ever? Elk is at least useful. Why would you ever need to increase your jumping distance? That never comes up,
Yeah.
especially while you're raging in combat.
I don't think I've ever tried to like do a long
It
jump, to be
it
honest.
would be so specifically situational.
Yeah, that's just bad.
It's like the jump spell. Why would I want that?
Yeah. That one, like the other ones, I think if they were just enhanced a little bit to be on the same level as Bear, they could work really
Well,
well. But Tiger is like, what? This needs to be reworked.
if I'm honest, switch the 3rd level bear and the 6th level bear.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And that's a good segue into the 6th level, which
Yeah.
you gain the might of a bear, your carrying capacity is double, and you have advantage on strength checks made to push, pull, lift, or break objects.
Yeah. Because
That's
that
just,
sounds more in line with the 3rd level ones.
yes, it absolutely does.
Maybe they just put it backwards by accident. And then like didn't want to change it and a bit they were wrong.
Yeah, I agree. But speaking of like, I think a lot of these 6th level ones should be switched out with the 3rd levels. They're just not as good as the 3rd levels.
No. Eagle is cool.
I took Eagle and that Warrior, but it didn't really come up that much, to be honest.
It depends on the campaign and what the DM's doing.
Yeah, that's true. Elk,
Um
whether mounted or on foot, your travel pace, that can be
like
help. It depends on the campaign you're doing and
it
how much
depends on the campaign.
emphasis like the
It also
DM.
depends on how the DM does travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that wouldn't have helped you in my campaign
Hmm.
because I had you guys in a more civilized world. So there wasn't that many random encounters. And that was by design
Yeah,
because you
absolutely.
guys were meant to fight more like people and like organizations and that kind of thing, not so much just like monster hunters.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't really have helped you because even the 1 or 2 times you traveled a great distance, you were given horses or unicorns or on a boat.
Or unicorns. Or unicorns on a boat, on a horse.
You got unicorns one time. It was
I know.
epic.
It was amazing.
Then they pranced off into the night after an earthquake.
Yes, they got spooked.
Yeah.
Tiger, you gain proficiency in 2 skills from the following lists: athletics,
Oh,
acrobatics, stealth,
hey,
and
hey, you
survival.
finally get acrobatics and stealth. Oh, look at you go.
Yeah, this one's not bad. You get some proficiencies.
But it,
It's
it's more
just,
useful.
yeah, it's just okay. Helpful. Wolf, you can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move
Yeah.
stealthily. Yeah,
Yeah, this is another one that it depends on how the DM does travel.
yeah. At 10th
But
level,
I think tiger, eagle, and bear are the best. Personally, my go-to for this is eagle, just just for like additional perception. And then like if I were to use this, I would whenever we walk to a room and it's perception check, I would make sure to mention it to the DM in case it's like a dim room and be like, hey,
yeah.
because
Uh,
I like to make sure I actually use my abilities, or at least try to, because it is hard for the DM to remember everybody's abilities.
yeah. I would choose eagle as well. Bear first, obviously. Spirit Walker at 10th level allows you to cast Commune with Nature, but only as a ritual. And when you do so, a spiritual version of one of the animals you chose for Totem Spirit or aspect of the beast appears to you. I don't actually know what Commune with Nature does.
Exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. You get to talk. Knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. Yeah, it depends on what campaign you're doing. This can be helpful.
Well, and it's a ritual, so
Yeah, how
I
long
mean,
is the ritual?
it's the kind of thing to do when
1 minute.
your party is taking a rest,
Yeah, exactly.
or or if you know that there's monsters nearby, you just kind of like, okay, sit down.
Yeah.
Do this, we'll find them.
Not an overpowered thing, just kind of a nice thing to have, I guess. At 14th level, Totemic Attunements. As a bear, while you're raging, I actually don't know much about these ones. So, while you're raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls. Wow, that sounds
Real quick, eagle is the best one.
out of this one. 14th level.
Yes.
A
Yep.
flying speed?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you see why immediately it's the best one?
Oh, okay. Now I want to take that one with the first eagle, and I want to just fly around.
it's it's equal to your current walking speed.
Yeah, which
That's not
increases.
slow.
No, because
As
barbarians
a
get one walking speed
what
increase.
level do you get that? 14?
Uh, I know I have it in my notes here.
It said it on your screen.
5th level.
No, I was asking what level you got that totem.
Oh yeah, 14th level.
Because I was looking when the fast movement was.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Oh, then take a couple levels of monk and get even more walking speed. Oh.
Yeah. So the elk, while raging, you use a bonus action during your move to pass through the space of a large or smaller creature. Okay, I guess that's not really that helpful.
Well,
I,
they get knocked prone,
I guess.
and then you can
Yeah,
do
that's
damage.
nice.
You know,
One
like
d12 plus your strength
you basically
modifier.
just barrel through people and knock them over.
Yeah, it takes a
Turn
bonus
into a
action,
linebacker.
but you don't have many bonus actions anyways
Well, and
as a
even if you
barbarian.
do, this is a good bonus action.
Yeah. Tiger, while you're raging, if you move at least 20 feet in a straight line, has to be in a straight line, toward a large or smaller target right before making a melee attack, you use your bonus action to make an additional melee attack weapon against it.
That's really good for the first round of combat.
It is.
Just the first round of combat, and then you'll be surrounded.
Yeah, you'll be surrounded, or it's just not going to work out with the straight line.
Well, and you're not gonna just like run away and come back and take those opportunity attacks every round. I mean, maybe you will. I wouldn't.
That just brings a funny picture of a barbarian just running away and doing a U-turn, charging.
Yeah.
Wolf, while you're raging, you can use a bonus action on your turn to knock a larger or smaller creature prone when you hit it with a melee attack.
That's not bad because you
Well,
do have 2 attacks, so you can
yeah,
whack it prone and then hit it real hard on that second attack.
I was looking at like what's the difference between this and the elk, but I guess this is a strength saving throw. This is if you hit, you get
Yeah,
to
if
knock
you
them
hit,
prone.
you just knock them prone.
Yeah,
And so if you hit on your first attack, you knock them prone. Your second attack, you do you're more likely to hit. You know, like it's just.
Yeah, this wolf is great.
However, eagle.
I know. The wolf is
There's
pretty good. The elk's good.
other than for role play, there's no way I would ever take anything other than eagle for this because I want to be a flying barbarian.
Yeah,
But without wings. You're just like kicking the air.
yes.
That's how you fly.
Yes. I can imagine him doing like somersaults with his axe to hit people.
You just spin your axe above your head like a helicopter.
Yes, exactly. Even though you don't need to.
Oh, just get a double-bladed scimitar, and then you could be like Thanos and have it spin like he does.
Yes. So there's no like this seems obvious why Totem Warrior is like considered the best barbarian class. The bear is great. The 6th level
Well,
ones are hit or miss. And
it's just strong.
14th
It's
level.
just all around strong.
Yeah, and the player choice too, like being able to choose, like you get to choose a subclass first of all, but then you get to choose like every whatever levels between 5 different animals. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there are some good options other than the bear totem at the beginning, of course, but probably going to see a lot of people doing that bear totem.
Well, here's something you could do if you want to lean into that flying speed. Like if you're making a character that's higher level to start with, is you do elk at the start and you increase your walking speed by 15, which on top of the fast movement earlier, now you have 55 feet of flying speed at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Some
55 feet walking of flying speed, not much can get away from you.
yeah, there's some great options for customization for the Totem Warrior.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to talk about Totem Warrior, but I also asked you what one you'd want to talk about. The one I wanted to talk about was Path of the Beast. And with this one, this is all about like becoming a beast, not in like the sense of being a werewolf, but you know, when you at 3rd level, when you enrage, you get to choose between gaining a bite, gaining claws, or gaining a tail. And one thing I love about this is it adds an extra level of choice in combat. You know, based around what's happening in the combat, you can do the bite, which allows you to deal 1d8 piercing damage on a hit, which it will scale.
It's 1d8 plus your strength.
Right. Yes. And you also regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency modifier, provided you have
Only if
less.
you're under half health.
Yes.
So it is useful.
Yeah.
Tail is by far the best one though.
Yeah, definitely for defensive and
it has reach.
Creature you can see. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, it does have the reach property. That's great.
Yeah, it's easily the best one.
It's the best one. Yeah, consistent damage.
Just
and
overall, it's the best because it does the same damage as the bite, but it has reach and it helps your AC.
Yeah, the claws does do more damage though. It will do 2d6.
It does potentially more damage.
That's true. When you attack.
However, as the barbarian, being able to increase your AC by a d8 just as a reaction.
Yeah.
That's better than the shield spell.
Yeah, if you're being a tanky barbarian, tail is absolutely the right way to go.
Yeah. However, that goblin I made is using bite.
Oh, he's the Path of the Beast?
Yeah, I'm gonna bite you.
Nice. You know, bite.
He doesn't have any weapons. I also took everything out of his inventory except like a water skin and it's in a pouch.
Oh yeah.
He just has a little pouch. And he's just gonna bite people.
Yeah.
Also, he has a crippling gambling addiction.
Nice. That'll be
Yeah,
fun
just
for role
cause.
playing.
Yeah, just cause. But he's not smart, so he won't be good at it, and then he'll bite people if they try to cheat him.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't, and he just thinks they did.
6th level for Path of the Beast really just goes into more of the kind of becoming an animal as a barbarian, and allows let me look at this. You can also alter your form to help you adapt to your surroundings. When you finish a short or long rest, choose one of the following benefits, which lasts until you finish your next short or long rest. So this is another great, like, able to like choose between different ways you can like modify the barbarian's body with like animal parts or whatever.
Also, your bite, claws, or tail count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance to
Yes,
non-magical.
absolutely. Thanks for
Which, by the time you're at 6th level, that does start to appear.
yeah. So with Bestial Soul, you can choose from gaining a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and you can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings,
Yeah.
which is
It gives you spider climb.
yeah. Jumping, when you jump, you can make a strength athletics check and extend your jump. Eh.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Same with swimming. Climbing is easily the best one.
Yeah, depending on where you are, like swimming is definitely helpful.
Yeah, swimming would be helpful if you're like playing Salt Marsh or something, or like
Yeah.
doing a pirates campaign. But even then, climbing would also be useful because then you could just stand on the side of the boat. You know,
Yeah. But
climbing is just useful in more situations.
that's true. But swimming definitely has its time.
Swimming is better than jumping.
Yeah, I don't know when you would choose jumping.
I don't know.
Because it's like,
If it was like jump and glide,
yeah, that'd be cool.
like you spread out some flying squirrel flaps.
Yeah. At 10th level, Infectious Fury, when you hit a creature with your natural weapons while you're raging, the beast within you can curse your target with Rabid Fury. Basically, you get rabies.
Yeah, this one is the rabies ability.
Yeah, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or suffer one of the following effects. Target must use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice. That's great. Or the target takes just 2d12 psychic damage. This is great. Like, it's just when you hit, too. This doesn't require... Oh, you can use this number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, but still. Great addition, I think.
Yeah, it's just useful.
Yeah. I like, again, gives choice.
Also, I like the thought of having the bite one and you just start foaming.
Yes. Like, roleplay wise, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Rep.
Yeah, like, you just become the bunny from Red Dragon Inn.
Yeah. At 14th level, Call the Hunt. When you enter your rage, you can choose a number of other willing creatures you can see within 30 feet of you equal to your Constitution modifier, so probably your whole party. You gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Until the rage ends, the chosen creatures can each use the following benefit once on each of their turns. When the creature hits a target with an attack roll and deals damage to it, the creature can roll a d6 and gain a bonus to damage equal to the number rolled. This is just another good theme of, like, you know, pack.
It's just a good ability.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not bad. Just good. You know?
Yeah, it adds a nice sense of, you know, it's nicely themed as well. And
it's one of those ones where you need the other people to use that extra damage right away or they'll forget about it, sort of like Bardic Inspiration.
yeah, it's one of those things you just have to keep reminding people that they have.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's a D6 and everyone's like, well, I could do that. Or I could do this spell that makes him explode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, that's just how it tends to go.
But
it's the same thing with Bardic Inspiration.
You still gain the 5 temporary hit points.
Oh yeah.
Which is a nice bump whenever you rage.
Yeah, It's a useful ability. It's good.
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
so I really like this subclass, just for all the choices you can make with it and the theme of it. Just being able to modify your body into like how you want to deal with combat and how you want to deal with the world, even though jumping is not really useful. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this subclass.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a goblin using it.
Yes. Foaming at the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Rapid goblin.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'll bite you.
Path of the Ancestral
Fire.
Guardian. This is one I haven't played before.
This is one I have. This is the one that my Warforged was.
Yeah. So, at third level, you get Ancestral Protectors. While you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes the target of the warriors, which hinders its attack. Till the start of your next turn, that target has disadvantage on any attack roll that isn't against you. That's a great tanking ability.
Mm-hmm.
And when the target hits a creature other than you with an attack, the creature has resistance to damage dealt. That's awesome. Like, if they choose to attack anyone else but you, like, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah. You know what's really fun about this? It's
So,
not specifically melee attack.
when the target hits a creature other than you with an attack, that is great.
No.
Wait.
To activate it,
Oh, okay.
it's not specifically melee attack. It's just the first creature you hit with an attack. So you could just like throw a javelin at Buddy over there, and then he has to attack you, or else he's at a disadvantage.
Yeah, you could just, throw a javelin off at the sorcerer or the ranger.
Yeah, or just keep a bunch of daggers on hand.
Yeah, great ability.
Ah, it's great.
Yeah. At sixth level, you get Spirit Shield. The guardian spirits that aid you can provide supernatural protection to those you defend. If you're raging and another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. Again, this is
And it scales.
yeah, it scales 3d6 at 10th level, 4d6 at 14th level. Great party support addition.
Yeah, it really leans into the guardian part of the ancestral guardian.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with this subclass. It's really
Mhm.
like you want to be the center of the group. You want to support them. You want to make sure they don't take damage. It's great. Consult the spirits at 10th level. You gain the ability to consult with your ancestral spirits. Sounds very fitting for the subclass. You get to cast Augury or Clairvoyance spell. Casting. What do these do?
It's a role play thing.
Okay. Yeah, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity. Okay.
Yeah, augury is what our cleric keeps doing.
Okay. Makes
That
sense.
Yeah, and then clairvoyance. In Skyrim, when you cast clairvoyance, if you're in a dungeon, it'll just have like a little ball of light that'll show you which direction you're supposed to go.
I see.
Yeah,
I think I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those spells where it's like, what's this? You use it. Oh, that's garbage. Never
Yeah.
using that again.
And then rather than creating a spherical sensor, this use of clairvoyance invisibly summons one of your ancestral spirits to the chosen location. Yeah. Nice little addition for role playing.
Yeah, you summon Mushu from Mulan.
Yeah. Fits with the subclass nicely.
Yeah.
Not too bad. At 14th
then
level, this is a short
this just
paragraph.
it turns the spirit shield into a spirit reflect.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's useful.
I'm a big fan of like forcing enemies' damage back at them at any point.
Yeah.
It's just
I like this class.
yeah.
It's solid, it's useful, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's one of the best tank classes I've ever played.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like.
Especially since in the game I played it, we had a cleric, and that was you.
That
And you
was
made it
that
so
was me.
that I could bond with people and like teleport to them if they took damage.
Yeah,
So
that's
then anyone in our party takes damage, I reduce it and then appear, and then like, what are you doing to my friend?
yes. I think that was the peace domain, which is um one of my favorite cleric
Yeah.
subclasses. So yeah, Barbarians got some really good subclasses. Some really bad ones too, which we're not going to get into detail of those, but
No.
Battle
I mean,
Rager, Berserker.
Battle Rager. The only reason I don't like Battle Rager is that it's dwarves only. It's the only reason.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that.
No. Apart from that, it's okay.
Yeah.
Berserker, it's just because of the way that the action economy works for it. That's its main issue.
Yeah.
Storm Herald, the abilities are just really, really weak.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the abilities for it just aren't worth it.
And I like how Ancestral Guardian doesn't try to compete with the Totem Warrior's like dominance on resistance. It's a support tank in a different way. Actually, it's more of a
Oh yeah,
support tank, to be honest.
it's protect your friends, not yourself.
Yeah, and you're a barbarian. You're already not going to take that much damage. Like,
Except for magic.
yeah, that's true. Any, wisdom, intellect, charisma, ability checks.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun when the big bad evil guy uses Crown of Madness on the barbarian
Yeah,
because it's gonna work.
that's a lot of fun. So, multi-classing a barbarian.
my
Honestly,
favorite, my favorite is with fighter.
yeah, I think fighter's the
Um,
obvious one to do it
well,
with.
and my favorite fighter multi-class for it is one of the worst is one of the worst fighter subclasses.
Oh, what's that?
Champion.
Oh yeah.
Because when you combine this with a barbarian at third level, your critical hits are on 19 or 20, not just 20.
Right.
And then you also have action surge. You get a fighting style. So it it really, really complements barbarian very, very, very well.
Yeah, because of brutal critical, right? If you
Yeah.
can get
Well,
like even
well,
one of
because
those.
yeah, so you crit on 19 or 20, you have brutal critical, so you have bonus dice. And if you were to take Great Weapon Master, then when you hit with a critical, you get an extra attack. That's part of Great Weapon Master. Plus, as a fighter, you get a fighting style, so you can take Great Weapon Fighting. So any ones on your dice, you can re-roll them.
Yeah.
It complements Barbarian
Yeah.
so freaking well. And it's D10 hit dice, so you're not taking a huge bump to your to, to your hit points.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
It's
any strength based like um multi-classing with any class that uses strength is very much helped by just even like 1 point because getting that rage can help so much. Like if you don't need to do concentration on spells, who cares? So I put like range even a strength based ranger, paladin, and like a battlesmith artificer. Concentration might be a little bit difficult with that, but
mhm.
I still think it can be worked into it. Or a defender, armor, artificer.
Well, another good fighter subclass to combine with Barbarian is Rune Knight. I don't know if you've ever looked at them,
I mean,
but
I've DM'd one when you played it, and
yeah.
it's great.
Well, at third level, you get Giant's Might, which if you're smaller than large, you become large. So you grow into a small giant, which as a barbarian, that's just cool. You also deal an extra d6 damage on a hit.
Yeah,
You can use it equal to your proficiency, so a few times. And it's just useful. You also get 2 runes at third level. One of those runes is called Cloud Rune. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to invoke the rune and choose a different creature within 30 feet of
Oh yeah.
other than the attacker. So you can have someone attack their friends.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this ability with the Ancestral Guardian? How annoying that would be.
Yes. That'd be great.
Yeah. Fire Rune, you just make your sword a fire sword. And then the other two, not great, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's more, those two are more out of combat bonuses.
Yeah.
But for a barbarian, like Cloud Rune, Fire Rune, both work great.
Yeah.
It just complements it well again. Champion, I think, complements it best. Battle Master also complements it very well because of the
Yes.
maneuvers. Like, you're never gonna go wrong with having riposte in your arsenal, or sweeping attack,
Mm-hmm.
or tripping someone, or you disarm them and then kick the weapon away and
Yeah.
he's still with you. Like,
Yeah.
that's
And even like, if you want to go full barbarian, but you might want to add some complexity or choice with your movements, just putting 3 levels into fighter and taking battle master just gives you a whole lot of options
yeah.
to to
Well,
make.
and putting 3 levels into fighter also gets you just the base fighter abilities. You get the fighting style, you get second wind, action surge.
Yeah.
Those 3 things are so invaluable to a barbarian.
Yes.
Action surge, being able to double the amount of attacks you have.
Yeah.
Second wind, you just, hey, I'm down some hit points, I'll get some back. Because second wind is twice as effective for a barbarian than it is for any other class or any other character, because you have resistance.
Yes.
So it's twice as effective, because 10 hit points for a fighter is more like 20 for a barbarian.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I,
fighter just pairs well with barbarian so effectively, because fighter gets so many very, very useful abilities early.
mhm.
Because you
Now,
don't want to take too many levels if you're multi-classing, right? Like,
yeah. So I've been horny for Gloomstalker Rangers lately. I actually think a
what?
barbarian Gloomstalker Ranger would be great because it
Yeah, it
gives
would.
you dark
That first
vision.
that first round would be disgusting.
Dread Ambusher? Oh yeah, this will allow you to close the gap. Deal tons of damage first part. You can get in your tank roll, and you could even have some fun with it being a big Goliath that is somehow invisible in the dark.
Well, and if you're higher level, you can fly.
Yeah, exactly. Or Horizon Walker. You can do distance strike that's set at 11th level, which allows you to, when you take the attack action, you can teleport up to 10 feet before each attack. So you can like attack and then teleport and attack. If you attack at least 2 creatures with the action, you can make an additional attack. So you could just bip around a group of people as well.
Mhm. Hunter pairs well with barbarian as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, specifically like Colossus Slayer,
Yeah.
because if you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it deals an additional D8 of damage.
Yeah. I
So it's
think
just extra damage, extra damage, extra damage. Horde Breaker is also useful, because if there's multiple targets in front of you, you can just keep hitting.
yes, absolutely. And like,
Because yeah, Hunter on its own, not that great, if I'm
oh,
honest.
I know.
Oh, I
It's
know too. My first ever character was a hunter.
oh yeah.
Yeah. He was the strongest character in the party.
Nice. See,
So
yeah.
that tells you something very scary about that party.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, think the ranger as a like that nimble dexterity based
Well,
ranger, but you can be strength.
here's the thing. When I made it, I was thinking Ranger like Lord of the Rings, like Aragorn. He's a Ranger.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what a lot of people think about
Yeah.
when they
Well, you think Aragorn or Legolas. Like, and I made my character a lot like Legolas, where I used a bow and 2 short swords, just like
yeah.
him.
Even if
Because
you
most people's first characters are usually inspired by something from media.
yeah. I think like with the Artificer armor, and if you go into the Guardian armor, because as the armor for Artificer, you could choose between
Oh,
how to augment your armor. These Thunder Gauntlets,
Thunder Gauntlets would be so fun.
yeah, it basically like if you did that with Totem Warrior, you kind of get that extra little bit of support, like imposing disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you. And you could do that like theme of just being like a brawler barbarian, but it just gives you those your fists a little bit of an oomph.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to be into intelligence based. You'd have to have your intelligence
Oh,
kind of
that's
high.
hard because then you would need 4 good stats. That's difficult.
Yes, absolutely. That's the downfall, but
Yeah. Well,
with
another
choosing.
good way to do barbarian multi-class is to go into the other class first and
Yes.
then transition into barbarian. And it's also easy to do that role play wise because your character just like snaps
Yeah.
and just mad. And you're just getting these benefits because they're so angry.
Yeah.
Maybe they killed your dog and you're John Wick.
I think.
And then all of the paladin stuff is
Oh,
good. Like
oh yeah.
divine smite on a barbarian is
Yeah, multi-classing as a paladin, it's
yeah.
just only gonna be good. Like it doesn't
Well,
take
and you
away.
get a fighting style. I
Yeah, you
mean,
do.
you get a fighting style.
You get some spells. You have to have your charisma up a little bit. That's not a
You can't
bad one
use
to
spells
have.
while you're raiding.
Oh yeah, that's so. Can you not use spells, or can you not
Cannot use
concentrate?
spells while you're raging. It
Okay,
specifically says you cannot use spells while you're raging. Divine smite is not a spell though.
that's true, and it does use your
You
spell
can
slots. So
dispel
like,
a spell slot, but it's not a spell.
yeah,
So
it
you
can
know,
work if
yeah,
you
you
want
just do that.
to.
Also, if you only take 3 levels of this so that you can get an oath, you only have 3 first-level spell slots anyways. Why are you using them on anything other than smite when you're a barbarian?
Yeah,
If we're being honest here.
then you can just choose spells that are roleplay based and not combat as well
Yeah.
for the paladin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Paladins are fun.
Any of the other classes? I was gonna say Blood
Or monk.
Hunter.
Monk does.
Yeah, Monk. If Monk was good in any way.
I mean, monk works great if you want to punch people really hard.
Yes, absolutely. And just adding.
Also, if you make a monk barbarian subclass, you don't need any strength on your barbarian. So you could dump it all into dex and constitution and wisdom
That's true.
to make it so that you could see everything. You have a ton of hit points. You hit real hard because of that monk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have extra movement because you get unarmored movement from monk and you get fast movement from barbarian. So you have 50 movement speed. Monks at 3rd level get deflect missiles, so even if people are shooting at you, you can catch them and throw them back.
Mm-hmm.
The first 3 levels of monk are really good. The problems I have with monk is the subclasses. The monk as a base class. Like if you were to just play any class without the subclasses, monk is not bad. I
Yeah.
like monk, but their subclasses are just disappointing to me personally.
Yes.
And the class as a whole, I just don't really like.
Yeah.
I would rather play a barbarian with the unarmed fighting style
Mm-hmm.
than a monk,
Which is a
which
great
is
option.
ridiculous. It's a great option. It's fun, but it's ridiculous that I would rather do that than play monk.
Yeah. So
You know, like
the other multi-class I could think of is the Blood Hunter, but I don't know too much about the Blood Hunter to be honest.
oh, you're forgetting the best one, Colby.
What, the Rogue?
No, you combine it with bard.
Oh, yeah.
Everything goes with bard, and everything goes with sorcerer
Is that true?
because yes, uh, role play wise, everything goes with sorcerer
Okay.
because sorcerer is that you're just naturally magical. So role play wise, it's you're naturally magical.
Yeah,
You,
which
you know,
makes sense.
like
Yeah. So I think Barbarian fits very well with basically any melee based class. I think it's up there with Fighter as probably like the best one to multi-class with. Like Fighter is also very versatile across all of the.
Fighter's the best multi-class class. The
Yeah,
first 3 levels of Fighter is more useful to more classes than anyone else. Action Surge alone,
that's true. That's worth it alone.
because any class that is useful for.
Hmm.
That's just a good ability. It's just an all-around good ability.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'm gonna have to use multi-class barbarians a little bit more, even if I do a couple levels, especially if it's strength based. But that's all we got for tonight, folks. You got anything else to add about barbarians, Philip?
I love Barbarians for shorter games.
Yeah.
Um, unless you're really ready to get into the Barbarian lifestyle, don't play it in a long form game because it can be quite stale.
Yes. There are options to make it a little bit more complicated with your subclasses, and like maybe even the DM could put some magic items in that could help with it, but yeah,
Even then, though,
it's gonna be
that gets stale pretty quick.
boring.
If you want to have options in fights and you get bored easily during fights, be a spellcaster. It's simple as that.
Hmm.
Barbarian is not for you if you get bored easily.
Yeah. Well, this concludes -1 charisma, our third episode. This one focused around barbarians, obviously. Let me know what you guys think barbarians. If you actually made it to the end of this, looks like we're at like an hour and 20 minutes. Kudos to you. You might be the first one to listen to the whole episode of -1 charisma.
Other
Um,
than me,
yeah, other than Philip. We appreciate you watching, and have a good day, everyone.
bye.